5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name's Zella. I taught TEFL for 10 years and I've been teaching EAP for just 1 year. In this presentation, I'm going to describe my experiences moving from TEFL teacher to EAP tutor, from language school to university. In it, I'm going to present 10 obstacles and then I'll share 10 tips for how I dealt with these. So, moving on to my first obstacle. Remember that moment. It's your first day teaching EAP. You're proud and nervous, wearing smarter clothes, armed with a range of new and unfamiliar materials, anxious to meet your students, a room full of dedicated, motivated learners. It's just not the case. Motivation, sponsors, finance, parents, loads of things affect the levels of commitment. What to do when our students don't respond as we expect. So we can find out from our students what their motivations and goals are and continually remind ourselves of these. Remind your students where this lesson fits into the bigger picture and surrender to change. It's a different job. Expect the unexpected. Number 2, ABC. ABC, stand up please. Talk to your partner. Change, change. Now, find someone who. The TEFL classroom is a workout, games, activities, mingles, pair and group work. But how much of this can we transfer over? How TEFL-y should our lessons be? And how do we switch from the TEFL style fun to an academic context? We can use activities and rehash the TEFL workout as long as our students are made aware of how to apply this to their learning. TEFL style fun can set the context and engage the class, prevent lethargy or provide light relief whenever needed. This isn't TEFL, but we can recycle things from TEFL. Number 3, TEFL course books and materials are our friends. We know them inside out. They come with warmers, extension activities, teaching tips, the all-important answers. In EAP classes, it's not that easy to find and prepare suitable materials. These are often dense, text-heavy and challenging. How will the ex-TEFL teacher cope without their trusty laminator and guillotine? So we can treat the academic materials as we would the TEFL, break them down into bite-sized, manageable chunks, cut up essays, delete keywords and so on. Mix and match, take the creative side and fuse it with the academic. Number 3, as TEFL teachers, we are indoctrinated into believing that the more student interaction, the better. Remove the tyranny of the teacher. How many times have we been told, too much teacher talk time? As new EAP teachers, we find ourselves battling between the mantra of must avoid TTT like the plague against how can I teach this skill without any T? I am 1 part educator, 2 parts motivator, 3/5 an objective, but fair critic, 22% social worker and at least 37% parent figure. If you need to talk to achieve this, then talk. Sometimes students can sail on their own, sometimes they need an anchor. TEFL is a linear, well-trodden path. There is a flow of teach, practice, recycle. In this lemming-style classroom, students move in a line with the expectation they are all learning and progressing at the same time. TEFL EAP is more like non-sequential blocks. We take these Tetris-like blocks of skills and language and try to fit them together. How do we switch from the lemmings to the Tetris? It is easy to visualise TEFL's linear process, and the new EAP teacher can be flummoxed by what looks like an indirect or off-course way of teaching. However, both types of syllabus have a beginning, a middle and an end, and in both students can reach their destination. Number 6. In the TEFL classroom, it's usually easy to predict how long an activity will take. Typically, lesson plans are quite bitty, well-organised and fast-paced. We anticipate the level of our learners and we can predict the timings of an activity. In EAP, the materials are long, the language structure is complex and concepts are abstract. How can an EAP teacher predict the timings of a lesson? Does it actually matter if we don't do everything on the lesson plan? These timings are absolutes. We should allow for the flexibility needed. Be prepared to chop and change the timings on your lesson plan to accommodate your students' needs. Moving on to number 7. The TEFL teacher is used to clearly defined level classes where materials are graded and where we only do certain language-related things at that level. Everything we do in TEFL is based on levels. You enter the EAP mixed ability classroom with material full of academic, ungraded, subject-specific and difficult vocabulary and language. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Where do we pitch our lesson? You are the perfect tool. You have a sensitive awareness of the foreign student, and you have an appreciation of the academic hurdles they're about to meet. We're not teaching them to be a certain level. Utilise what you know and utilise what the students know. Moving on to number 8. Are teachers experienced enough to move from TEFL to EAP? Have we had any training about how to teach it? Take me, I've got the Delta and an MA. I was an IELTS teacher and an IELTS examiner with loads of experience teaching grammar, prawn, vocabulary, etc. But is this enough to make me a confident and competent EAP tutor? We can develop, evolve and change for our audience, draw on new experiences, visit academic conferences. We all had little or no experience when we first started teaching. You don't get to be experienced until you do something new. We can reflect on our own academic journey and also on our past teaching. Number 9. When you look at the things we try to teach in TEFL, it's clear certain rules, patterns or formulas emerge. There are rules for grammar, rules for spelling with pronunciation. We use a teacher's book full of rules. And there's a syllabus that dictates what order and what level we should teach all this stuff. Rules. Is there a formula for critical thinking? A formula for the perfect essay? Break free. There is no rules for a lot of the things that we teach in EAP. A formula for the perfect essay, it's not needed. We give our students the strength and confidence, hopefully, for them to develop their own academic voice and create their own learning direction. So, I was a TEFL teacher, and now I'm an EAP tutor. This past year has taught me to appreciate all I've done and feel proud of my TEFL background. As for my last tip, number 10, if all else fails, pull out your old favourite saying. Interesting question. We're not focusing on that in this lesson. We'll be looking at that next time.